Hello, happy Thursday, Mr. Means class. Today is Thursday, September 12th. It is a day B. Today we are going to take our comprehensive pre-test on Canvas under the quiz section. Next we will complete watching our clip from yesterday. I'll kind of show you how that works a little bit here. Watch the video clip from yesterday and then using that to start a little bit of a discussion. So one thing I want us to do next is we will walk through how to get the quizzes on Canvas. So you log in, you get to your dashboard, you click on My Class. You will not see any of this. In fact, I'll give you the student view real quickly just so you can see exactly what I will see here. Alright, so under Quizzes, what you're going to see is Global Studies Pretest. Okay, now this one says not available until September 12th. Depending on your class period, you're not going to be able to access this until your class starts. Alright, so if I were to start this here, quiz is locked until 8:50 a.m. So it doesn't start until first period tomorrow morning. It is 41 questions, okay, but they're only worth 1/10 of a point apiece. So it's only 4 points. Now, I made it worth 4 points so you wouldn't freak out if you did poorly. But this is also not going to be synced with PowerSchool, so don't worry about the actual quiz score you get. Just worry about the overall product of what you know and what you don't know so that we can focus on that as we go through the trimester. Alright, so leaving student view here so I can get through the rest of this. After you take the quiz, there you have 2 attempts possible. Okay, so we're going to take the quiz, 2 attempts possible. Just make sure that you take your time. If you want to redo it to try and get it perfect, that's fine. You can do that if you want. One of the things that I will say is I want you to be honest with it. Try your hardest. If you don't know an answer, make your best guess and move on. After that, I want you to go to discussions. Alright, so we're going to go to discussions here. And we're going to look at our discussion for 9/11 terror attacks discussion. Okay, so if we click on that, there's a couple things. The video link from yesterday will be there. Now when I click on that, it's important. It's going to ask us to sign in using our Google account. Okay, so what that does is I'll kind of show you here. I'm logged in already, so if I sign out, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so as I sign out, it's going to ask me to have a password, or it's going to say sign in with Google. So I'm just going to sign in with Google, and that will actually sign me right in. It's going to ask me which account I want. I'm going to pick my school account, and then I should be signed in to Google itself, and then that should take you right to the actual link for the video. It's a Discovery Education video. It's meant for teenagers to upper high school, so there may be some content that's a little hard to hear, but I want you to kind of experience the things that people saw on September 11, 2001 as they were watching the news. And these stories are pretty raw, so it's tough to watch, but that's how I want you to answer these questions too. If you can't get that link to work, you can click on the September 11th video from CNN 10. Right here, they do a pretty good job of covering some of the things that happened on September 11th, and they talked to some people that were there. So here's what I want you to answer in your discussion. I want you to say, and remember, you're going to put your reply in right here, and then after it prompts you for that, you're going to hit submit or post reply. So it says, what would you say to calm the American people? So it says, watch the video link below and respond as if you were the President of the United States. So congratulations, some of you are the first woman president. Woohoo! What would you say to calm the American people after this terrorist attack? Okay, so that's the first part. Second, what would you do as a leader of the country to help with the cleanup efforts at Ground Zero? I forgot my question mark there. What would you do when you heard Al-Qaeda, the terrorist group that took responsibility for attacks, were the group that committed the act of terror on your people? So those are the 3 things I kind of want us to think about, because we'll talk about the reactions of the United States on Friday when I'm here. I know a lot of you want to finish the video too, so that might be an option as well. But, just think about, as a leader, being upset and frustrated that people attacked your country, what would be your first response? Would it be to bring people together, or would it be to go find a common enemy and destroy them? So that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. Now, you must reply to at least 2 people or 2 other classmates to receive full credit. Okay, so that means you need to wait until enough people post for you to be able to do that. And also, you need to have content-based posts that are appropriate and professional. So no emojis, no cool, man, I like that. That was sweet. Okay, none of that stuff. It's all got to be, I like your point about this, but if I were the leader, I would do this instead. Okay, so full sentences, paragraph form. You don't have to write a whole paragraph, but sentence and paragraph form. And professional feedback. All right, so if you don't agree with somebody, you don't call them names. You just say, I would do it this way, but I respect your opinion. That's all we're asking. If the internet is out, we're going to read pages 18 to 27 in our textbooks, and you're going to use a notebook to write down the vocabulary terms. So the vocabulary terms are at the top of each chapter, the core concepts, and everything that's highlighted in yellow I want you to define. All right, so that's only if Canvas is not working for us. That should give us enough to do if that is not the case. So your homework is to finish the pretest. Just to make sure that is done, and then try to get maybe 2 of those questions answered. I don't know what kind of time you're going to have after watching the video, if you'll even have time to respond to any of the questions. So I may even change that. Like, if you don't get your discussion done tomorrow, not a big deal. If you don't submit it until all the way next week on Monday, that's fine. Okay, so don't worry about getting the discussion done. Just make sure you watch the videos to understand what happened on those days. So we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but this will give you a little bit more of insight into exactly what people in New York City and across the country are really going through at this time 18 years ago. So it still burns pretty deep for those of us over the age of 30 that really understood what was going on. Even some of my younger colleagues who were in kindergarten at the time remember it vividly. It's just different. It's a sad day in history, but it's one I think is important that we understand as a free nation. Bad things will happen to us. In the end, we win. In the end, we win, definitely. We make decisions and laws and rules that benefit greater societies. But sometimes people take advantage of those freedoms and responsibilities and use that against us. And we can't fault entire groups of people for that. We just have to make the best of the situation what we can and realize that these terrorist groups are such a finite and small portion of the people that we choose to have them represent, that we need to be careful in overgeneralizing certain characters or certain groups to include all of these types of people across the world. So, just be careful when we stereotype certain groups. With that being said, good luck on your test, and we will see you on Friday.